Well, it'd be nice to show you a more advanced way of surfacing this from part 1, which has got quite a simple modelling method. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to put these planes in place, construction planes, and then I'll show you how to do a blend curve and align it, and then how to do a Nurbs curve. Let's take a construction plane, hit go, and we're going to choose geometry for the first one. I'm going to put it here, and that's a nice way to position a plane quickly. It's going to be perpendicular to a point on this arc. It may not be perpendicular to whatever surface you're meeting here, so sometimes you want to put it on this surface and not that one, but generally speaking that's the place to put it on a radial wheel arch. Okay, the next one, then we're going to have another plane, a 3-point plane. Just click it on there. You don't need to use any keys, and on there, and that would be fine. But if for any reason you wanted to incline that plane from our view, then you put a 3rd point here, and you can see what you can incline that plane. Okay, so let's start with blend curve. So that's Control B on my keyboard to bring that up. Maneuver that so we're looking straight down the line of that plane, like so, and then put my 2nd curve there, and then planarize it. So I need to pick object actually, and pick the curve, and then pick the plane and hit planarize, and it's planarized straight away. Okay, so we need to put the CV hull on. That's very important. And you notice that I've got these large icons, so just come to show you that. Just come down here to draw style, and I select large icons for the curves and small icons for the surface, so we don't get confused. Let's put that on there, and the first thing I want to do is just see where the CVs are and bring them up to a sensible place. You don't know exactly where you want them, but you know roughly, and then scale the curvature CV, and then down here we'll put on the manipulator here, and we'll leave it on G2 for the moment, just so that we can bring those CVs out. Got this situation where the CV is stuck there, then change the manipulator for PT Ray, and if you find that you can't get the CV out, then just reverse the direction of the manipulator like so, and then bring out the right distance, the distance that you want it to be away from the radial wheel arch flange. That's a starting position, obviously. Okay, now we can put a comb on. I just want to check that it's planar, and you can see that it's beautifully planar. Very important in Alias, get everything planar. It makes life so much easier. It makes things, surfaces build much better. The next surface that's going to be adjacent to the boundary builds better. Okay, now down here we're going to use a Nurbs curve, degree 5. I've already got a curve on surface there. Just in case you're not sure about that, if you want to create a curve on surface there, what you do is you use extend with merge off, and then you extend this, and then you project it onto there. Okay, so we can align that degree 5 curve there, and I'm going to use NUV because I know that I want those to be a little bit in like that, because I've got a rough idea of the shape that I want. Really, I've put these construction planes in for the blend curves, because when you planarize the blend curve to a construction plane, the curve retains its direct history, which isn't the case with a Nurbs curve. If I planarize this to here, which I would do using this tool, user defined plane, I don't want to keep originals, and then I hit the curve, hit the space bar, pick the plane, and it's now planarized the curve. And if we look along here, we can see that it's planarized, and it's quite a fragile situation, because now it's no longer got any history holding the aligned curvature relationship with this curve on surface. So really it's better to learn to use blend curves. They're quite tricky to use, but you'll get there if you persevere with them. Here, if we want to change this shape with a blend curve, we put the manipulator here, and I have to be careful to get the right one, that one, and you can manipulate that, get the shape of the cross section, if you like, of the eyebrow, roughly how you think you're going to want it. Now if you look at this distance here, that the tangent CV is out from the origin there, the first CV, you see it's radically different, isn't it? So we're going to kind of try to balance that up a bit, and we'll do the same down here. We can use a slide for that. It was just sort of getting them roughly kind of so that they're playing in the same team. Now I think we're ready to build a surface, so let's get on with it. So we're going to use start off with fixed boundary and curvature for the first degree 7 by 5, and we're using collinearity, so let's do that. Controls on, and you see that this isn't right, so we could use the blend curve manipulator. So you get the idea. Sometimes you'll get a small curvature deviation somewhere along here near to a blend curve. If you do, just move these two adjusters on the manipulator here to move the tangency row and the G2 row, and also to scale them, which you can do with these two controls. So I think you get the idea. That's how you build your surface, and you go all the way round. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back to you. I've spent some time tidying up the CV hulls. And I've just seen an issue here which I want to rectify. It's kind of seesawing, so I'm going to adjust those tangent CVs and come back to you. I've done that now, and I suppose I spent about 10 minutes sorting it out, and try to get your CVs running smoothly like this, as good as this, or better if you can. I'll show you quickly now how the surface set is looking and how the CV hulls are running, and they're not bad. They're running quite smoothly here. There's a few places where I could improve them. I could perhaps move in these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 CVs here that are holding the curvature, and just move them in a bit to get a smoother line through there, for example. But really we need to look at the highlights and make decisions once we've seen the highlights. Now I'm going to show you how to go about viewing these surfaces. I'm going to just take this surface here and then hide unselected, put my point of focus there, and I'm in perspective. So let's zoom in on it, I'm going to use this tool here, and I'm looking for any idiosyncrasies. You can see here we have a little bit of a zigzag, so I can just slide that CV, but you always have to look in more than one view. So what I'll do now is select this tool again, and I'll go around here, and I'm going to look to see if it's too high or too low. It looks alright to me. So I'm looking, I'm comparing one row of CVs against the next, like here, you see. They will run quite smoothly. But then as we compare them to the next row, and they look alright. And then another technique is to try to look along planar in the CV row like that. So unclick that so you can move in and look at your CV hull like so, and that one looks quite smooth. Okay, then you can, if you want to, we'll swing this round, and then you can click this tool here and you can stretch like so, and then that will exaggerate any zigzagging that you have in your CV rows, and it's easier to put right. And then when you want to get out of that mode, you just click the black tool there and go back into normal view, and then it's my Shift N is my command for bringing the model back, making it visible. Okay, let's have a look at the highlights now. If we come down here to evaluate and open this ISO angle control and choose single, and you can see the settings that I've got. Use about 0.09 blur, and then we can roll the highlights, and look for any imperfections in our blend. And this is where the designer is going to come along, and he'll be very interested, or she'll be very interested in seeing this and making comments and perhaps suggesting ways that the blend could be improved. Okay, thanks very much for taking the time to watch my video.